So next up, we're going to talk about the pyruvate dehydrogenase complex. Now, do you happen to remember what the pyruvate dehydrogenase complex actually does? There you go. The pyruvate dehydrogenase complex actually links glycolysis, which happens in the cytoplasm, to the TCA cycle, which happens within the mitochondria. And remember, it's involved in the regulation of fructose 2,6-bisphosphate. And the thing that you need to remember here about the pyruvate dehydrogenase complex is that it's active during the fed state. Now, the net reaction involving the pyruvate dehydrogenase complex converts pyruvate, NAD+, as well as coenzyme A into three products. And these include acetyl-CoA, CO2, as well as NADH. And through this reaction, you can see the pyruvate dehydrogenase complex creating an activated carrier, the NADH molecule. And this is done when pyruvate is converted into acetyl-CoA. Now, there are 5 cofactors that the pyruvate dehydrogenase complex needs to function. And can you think of their names? Great, so first off, we have thiamine pyrophosphate. And do you remember which vitamin it's derived from again? There you go, that'd be thiamine, or vitamin B1. Then next up, we have lipoic acid. And then we have, there you go, coenzyme A, which comes from vitamin, great, that's going to be pantothenic acid, or vitamin B5. And then we have FAD, which comes from, you've got it, riboflavin, or vitamin B2. And last but not least, we have NAD+, which comes from niacin, or vitamin B3. Now that's a good many cofactors, and if you need a little help remembering them, you can use the mnemonic, the lovely coenzymes for nerds, where the T in the stands for thiamine pyrophosphate, where the L in lovely stands for lipoic acid, where the co in coenzymes stands for CoA, where the F in for stands for FAD, and the N in nerds stands for NAD+. Now, on a side note, lipoic acid is actually inhibited by arsenic. And the concept to remember here is that arsenic inhibits lipoic acid's function and therefore leads to inhibition of the pyruvate dehydrogenase complex. And without it, you cannot link glycolysis and the TCA cycle. Arsenic also messes up glycolysis. And do you happen to know where this happens? Great, it inhibits the conversion of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate to 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. So in arsenic poisoning, all of this will lead to no ATP generation, either via glycolysis or the TCA cycle. And as you can guess, this is not a good thing. Now, if you're reading along your book, you'll see that arsenic poisoning causes some skin pigment changes, skin cancers, as well as vomiting, diarrhea, QT prolongation, as well as garlic breath. And an easy way to remember this is to think of your friendly neighborhood vampires running from a cutie with garlic breath. Now, what if you're exercising? You're going to probably want to undergo some aerobic metabolism, and therefore you're going to want the pyruvate dehydrogenase complex to be active. The body's main goal here will be to link glycolysis to the TCA cycle using the pyruvate dehydrogenase complex to help produce ATP. Now, during exercise, the ratio of NAD+ to NADPH actually increases since you're consuming all of the NAD+ to make more reduced NADH. Now, all of this NADH will go to the mitochondria to act as an electron carrier to help make ATP using oxidative phosphorylation. Now, also during exercise, ADP as well as calcium will increase. And these are going to also activate the pyruvate dehydrogenase complex, as you can see here. And with all that, what do you think inhibits the pyruvate dehydrogenase complex? There you go, ATP, NADH, as well as acetyl-CoA. And this all makes sense, since they're produced downstream from this enzyme. Now, with all that said, where can we see a similar enzyme to the pyruvate dehydrogenase complex? There you go, that's going to be within the TCA cycle, and this complex is the alpha-ketoglutarate dehydrogenase complex. And remember, it's involved in the conversion of alpha-ketoglutarate to succinyl-CoA. Now, this complex uses the exact same cofactors that the pyruvate dehydrogenase complex uses. And can you think of these again? There you go, they're going to be thiamine pyrophosphate, or vitamin B1, lipoic acid, coenzyme A, which again comes from vitamin B5, FAD, which is going to come from riboflavin, or vitamin B2, which is going to come from niacin, or vitamin B3. Well, alright, that's going to wrap up the pyruvate dehydrogenase complex. See you in the next video.